Don't let the light go out. At 3:33 a.m., Lena Merrow's phone vibrated once. No ringtone, just a skipped heartbeat beside her pillow, and displayed a message from a number she did not know. Don't let the light go out. She blinked at the pale blue glow. Outside her apartment window, the Atlantic heaved beneath a jaundiced moon, its waves clapping the seawall like slow applause for a performance no one wanted to watch. A second text arrived, identical to the first. Then a third, the words scrolling as if typed by a hand inside her phone. Beneath them appeared GPS coordinates, a tiny quartz speck of an island 20 nautical miles offshore, Bishop's Crag Light Station. To anyone else, the coordinates would mean little. To Dr. Lena Merrow, marine ecology postdoc barely surviving on Grant scraps, they meant two things: the research station she had petitioned for years to explore, and the lighthouse whose Fresnel lens supposedly hadn't dimmed once since 1902, not even during the blackout storms of '38. Local sailors whispered the lamp stayed bright only because something else lived in its glass, hungry for darkness. A final message bloomed. Shift 13 begins at dusk. Don't be late. Her heart, normally steady after a decade of deep-sea dives, rattled like pebbles in a jar. Still, curiosity, academia's greediest parasite, sank its hooks. She packed camera gear, ration bars, and a sealed letter of resignation she had drafted but never signed. If the lighthouse wanted witnesses, she would go, armed with science and skepticism. The skiff she hired knifed through slate-colored rollers. A storm brewed in the west. Thunder rolled so low it seemed to vibrate the sea's ribs. As Bishop's Crag reared from the mist, black rock snagged by gulls, the lighthouse torch burned white gold, steady and appallingly bright against the canvas of brooding sky. On the jetty stood three figures waiting like chess pieces set for an unwinnable game. Amarius Quinn, the gaunt, oil-smudged keeper whose family had manned the lamp for 4 generations. A Casey Joe, a satellite tech contractor hired to retrofit the tower with autonomous controls. A Alma Reyes, folklorist and disaster historian, clipboard hugged to her chest as though containing a holy relic. All three wore the same expression Lena had seen on drowning victims drawn onto lifeboats, relief poisoned by what they'd glimpsed beneath the waves. Marius extended a rust-spotted hand. "Welcome to Shift 13, Doctor. You're the last to arrive. We start the watch at sundown." Lightning skeletonized the horizon. For a moment Lena could swear the beacon above them exhaled. The lighthouse breathed, and the message from the unknown number pulsed behind her eyes. "Don't let the light go out." The lamp that drinks shadows. Inside, the tower smelled of warm brass, salt, and something subtler, old milk soured in glass. The circular staircase spiraled upward like a spine whose vertebrae were hammered iron. Each landing hosted relics of earlier keepers, tin mugs, cracked barometers, cobwebbed logbooks, arranged as though the men had stepped away mid-sentence. Casey unzipped a Pelican case, freeing a drone no bigger than a crow. "Mapping internal cavities," they murmured, voice brittle with forced normalcy. The drone's rotors hummed, echoing down the throat of the tower. Alma brushed dust from a brass plaque bolted at eye level. Service rota. Night shifts. 1902. Present. 1. 12 listed names scratched out. 1 per decade. 13. No archival scratches. Just a blank slot under 13. Alma's knuckles whitened on her pen. Every roster ends at 12. But shipping logs prove the lighthouse never closed. So who worked the 13th? Marius didn't answer. He caught Lena studying him. Family story says my great-grandmother kept watch with a partner who wasn't listed. When the partner vanished, Gran wrote, "Lamp drinks shadows," count what's left. Then she scuttled her log in the sea. He tapped the plaque. We keep the gap out of habit. They reached the lantern room as dusk leaked across the horizon. The first touch of twilight should have gradually diluted daylight. Instead, the minute the sun's lower edge kissed the water, the sky purpled to bruise black, as if bitten. The Fresnel lens, a cathedral of crystal prisms, roared to life, casting a fan of brilliance that sliced the ocean in angular ribs of white. Lena pressed a palm to the glass. It trembled, not from the tower's vibration, but with an interior throb, a pulse. Somewhere inside the nested prisms, fluid brightness circulated like blood. Casey set calibration nodes. Once autonomous, we can run the beam off solar, no keepers needed. Marius flinched. No one alone with it. Automation means no one with it, Casey replied. Isn't that safer? Marius's gaze darted to the dark sea. Depends who you want to keep safe. Understand. Night tide voices. 11:17 p.m. Shift 13's log. Lena found the ledger waiting, blank, on a wooden desk. Wind rose outside, knuckling the windows. Rain arrived sideways, rattling like knucklebones. Casey's drone feed projected across a brick wall. Corridors nobody remembered building. Sub-basement spiraling deeper than the island's geological core. Impossible, Casey whispered, tracing the floor plan. There's ocean under those levels. Alma flicked pages of coastal newspaper clippings. Vessels reported hearing Bishop's Light broadcasting on defunct radio frequencies. Not Morse but phonetic moans matching prelingual infant cries. A notation in red ink looped across the margin. RMS Nephilim. Last message. The lamp calls the drowned to feed it. Midnight. A single foghorn groaned, though no vessel was within 40 miles. The horn note lengthened, grew throatier, became a voice speaking syllables Lena's ears knew yet her brain refused to translate. Marius lost color. Shift 13 always hears it. The others. Lightning exposed the sea. Shapes clambered on the waves. Not boats, but silhouettes walking upright on water's skin, advancing toward the island. Their heads tilted to the light, mouths yawning wider than anatomic law. Casey staggered back from the window. Reflections. Alma whispered. Pilgrims. Old folklore. Souls lost to the Atlantic migrate to the brightest lamp, believing it a doorway. Then what happens? Lena asked. Doorways open both ways. The storm knotted itself around the tower. Every bolt of lightning etched the oncoming shapes in harsher resolution. Salt-soaked clothing, torn life vests, faces blurred like photos left in rain. One lifted its arm, longer than an arm had any right to be, and pointed. The beacon's light dimmed by a fractional lumen. A blip on Casey's sensor array chirped. Energy dip. Marius slammed a master switch. Gas spurted. Flame blossomed anew, and the lamp brightened. Out on the sea, the shapes recoiled as though scalded. Black water hissed where light struck. Don't let it falter, he breathed. They only need 1 second of darkness. Understand. The stare that wasn't there before. 1:39 a.m. The drone feed cut to static. Casey cursed and rebooted. An error looped. Signal captured. From below came a sound like a whale's funeral song slipping through galvanized air vents. Marius checked the generator. Prime. Casey checked cabling. Solid. Alma checked her pulse. Racing. No explanation left except the corridor itself wanted to sing.